agenda? No, agenda first.
I move that we approve the November 26, 2012 agenda as presented. Support.
We have motion and support to approve the agenda for November 26th. Further discussion? All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries 7-0. Item 6 is the minutes from the regular meeting on November 12, 2012, which are in your packet.
And I move that we adopt the minutes as presented for the November 12th, 2012 board meeting. Yeah, 12.
Support.
We have motion and support to accept the minutes from the regular meeting on November 12th. Further discussion? All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries 7-0. Item number 7 is the financial statements. Tammy, if I could ask you to read those for us, please.
Beaverton Rural School District account balances reconciled with the bank as of October 31st, 2012. General fund now account ending balance $5,371.44. And now CIC $3,405.92. MyLab $30. MyMax $718,712.48. The 96 debt, the now account ending balance is $791,232.41. The MyLab ending balance $674,689.43. And the MyMax $163,058.40. The cafeteria now account ending balance $48,441.21. And the MyMax $2,090.88. And I move that we accept the balances as presented. Support.
We have motion and support to accept the financial statement as presented. Further discussion? All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries 7-0. Also in your packet were the monthly board bills for past month. We have a chance to take a look at those. Any questions, comments, concerns?
I move we approve checks number 30796 through 30918 in the amount of $557,305.03.
Support.
We have motion and support to accept the monthly board bills as presented. Further discussion?
Just one thing, Joanne, this is really nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like that too. Dashboard.
And as we continue to get more, these will be better trackable, documentable.
Are these on our website?
Not yet.
Can we put them on the website? This is really good information for people.
Yes, as you if you compare this month to last month, the bottom couple of columns will change kind of back and forth, so there's some just historical data on the bottom. I'm sure you guys can see there's general fund, food service, and then debt. And then the bottom is just some historical reference points for you to look at and see how things have changed. And they'll differ from just some historical data for you to look at.
Well, it's helpful to see stuff like, you know, in 2007 we got almost just a little over $7,200 per student. You know, now in 2012 we're at $6,800. You know, so that kind of information is helpful as kind of a scorecard for board members and members of the public, so they can, you know, answer some of their own questions if they have them, and allow us to have them as well. But the tracking is nice too.
Great information.
Yep. So we have motion and support. Further discussion? All those in favor say yes. Yes. Opposed, the same. Motion carries 7-0. Item number 9, communications or expressions from the public. Please, and I'll say it because were you here last one? Have you been here since we were starting to take note for everybody? Yeah. That way we did. Name and some identifiers. I mean,
Some identifiers. The Reverend Karen Black, pastor of the First Presbyterian Church, Beaverton, and president of the Beaverton Area Business Association, 200 Lakeview Drive, Beaverton. I'm here to thank Mrs. Kittner. I don't know if she's here. Is she here? There you are. And also the Beaverton High School Students Band. I don't remember how many there were. But November 16th and 17th, the Beaverton Area Business Association did something for the very first time, and I'm sure we're going to make it an annual event. We had a holiday hunt extravaganza for people to come and shop in Beaverton. And I think we probably had at least 150 people. And that was on that Saturday, Friday, and Saturday. And on Saturday, we had a wonderful welcome center at the City Hall. And it was really, that was fun. We got in some yearbooks. Everybody wanted to see the yearbooks. And some other things. And we had the singers from the Church of the Advanced Read, the children's choir at 11 a.m. walking the streets. And then at 1 o'clock, the Beaverton band came, and they were also out on the street providing music, and they went over to the community center for the craft show. It was great to have the kids come in. In the morning when the children came in, they took care of our cocoa. And when in the afternoon when the high school kids came in, they took care of our donuts. So I want to thank the Beaverton Rural Schools, Mrs. Kittner, and the band for this, and we'll be getting back to you because we're going to be doing it again. Thank you very much. If anybody has any questions, I'd be glad to answer.
Thanks, Reverend Black. Anybody else? Mr. Faber. Aye.
Chad Faber, 4585. I've been honored to be asked to read a funeral letter statement. I can't pretend these are all my words. I largely support it, so I agreed to read it. But I haven't told anybody this yet, but recently I decided to not read it as written, because it shouldn't be a one-sided statement discussion. The first thing I'll do is I'll say I'm sorry to anybody here that will take offense to what comes out of this. But don't confuse that as guilt. It's just that I understand human nature, and that everybody here has someone who loves them, who stands up for them, and who will fight for them. So I'm going to read it, and I'm going to read that name. And what I'd ask you guys to all entertain is, come with me now, and let's step outside this room, pretend that we're addressing, or I'm addressing, or the community is addressing a foreign school board. And we're talking about a foreign school. Because the problem we have is that we're such a tight-knit community, and there's so many connections. Maybe when I'm done reading them, and it's not as long as you think. I wrote it real big so I can get glasses. It might take that long. Maybe when we're all done, you take it, chew on it, and understand where some of the community has frustration. I mean, everybody's got frustration, but not everybody understands where people like around me are coming from. So I'll do the best I can to make it slow and articulate, and you can understand what I'm trying to say. I'm up here tonight because I want to respectfully read a statement that expresses to the board the frustration felt by many of the people who have followed this process. This process of disciplining those people employed by the school district who were in any way involved in some respect in the case involving our teacher. In his years, what have now been discovered to have been systematic and predatory abuse of female students at our high school. This statement is the product of multiple hands and minds. It encompasses the viewpoints held by several members of this community who agree that those people who were complicit in allowing our teachers' actions towards these young girls to continue for so many years, as evidenced in the police report, and those whose actions impeded a police investigation should be held accountable for their actions. We appreciate the opportunity to be heard. We understand that there are other members of the community that stated their position in a letter or a petition form with many signatures. We don't have a petition full of names, only the thoughts, ideas, and support of like-minded people who agree that a great injustice needs to be righted. But we're willing to get signatures if that is something that this board wants to consider when making these decisions. Some of those girls were victims of our teachers' abuse. Some of those girls who were victims of our teachers' abuse were, according to that police report, already among the vulnerable of our society. which otherwise made them an easy target. The school was charged with their care and education while they were here, and instead of being offered safety and education and mentorship, the victims were singled out, groomed, and exploited. We're disgusted by that and angry. Now this teacher, he'll get his day in court again, and hopefully the punishment handed down to him considers justice for his victims. But we all know that this case went beyond just the actions of this teacher to include the actions or the inaction of others. When this report came to light, a line was drawn in the sand. There are two groups of public opinion standing on opposite sides of the line. Those that feel that anyone who ignored or, for the lack of a better term, underhandled the situation should be held accountable by those charged with overseeing their actions. But there are others that believe that these are good men. Men whose actions don't warrant discipline. Why? Because they have done so much good in this community, and these girls don't matter when you weigh their character against that of these good men. In other words, why should the lives of these good men be disrupted? Surely these girls aren't worth as much as them. To any of you in this room who feel this way, let me say this: no matter how much right you've done in your life, wrong is still wrong. Victimizing the weak, the vulnerable, those that are deemed least among us, is wrong. And it's in the Bible. And so is ignoring it. That's in the Bible too. Matthew chapter 25, verse 45. He will reply, I tell you the truth. Whatever you did not do for one of these, least of these, you did not do for me. We've all read the police report. We all have access to the same information. People who were in the position to take action knew that there was a problem, not just once, but arguably multiple times. And still the problem was allowed to remain in the school. Now the ability to take action is in the hands of you, the school board. And what frustrates many people in this community is the fact that one of these good men is still sitting up there with you, still in a position of authority, of responsibility, for the safety of our most precious and most vulnerable, our children. Many of us are also frustrated with the lack of discipline on any attention whatsoever to the part played by our basketball coach in this matter. As we sit here talking about it, he's still coaching boys basketball as if nothing ever happened. Why has he not been held accountable for his actions in this matter? Why does he continue to be allowed to mentor our kids? Because a strong argument can be made that he played a major role in obstructing a police investigation, whether he was charged or not. What kind of message does that send to our students? To our parents? Or to our public? Imagine a stranger looking in at our school system. What would they think? As Edmund Burke put it, all that is necessary for the triumph of evil is that good men do nothing. Or equally true in this case, is what Batman contends, that criminals thrive on the indulgence of society's understanding. For many years, evil strolled the halls of our high school because good men did nothing. A culture of ignorance, of looking the other way, created an atmosphere where victims had no support. They were even afraid in some cases to come forward. The criminal thrived in the school district because of an atmosphere of looking the other way. Because the understanding was that it's just the way it is. It doesn't have to be that way anymore, and those of us who are disgusted and frustrated demand that this board takes action. We elected you, we put our trust in you to keep our kids safe. Just as we expect that our children's poor choices are not rewarded, so too do we expect that the poor choices made by the people entrusted with the care of our children not be rewarded. The only person thus far who has been disciplined is our elementary principal, and that was only with a disciplinary letter. To his credit, he does appear to be genuinely remorseful for his actions. What about our superintendent? Why does he continue to sit here? Should we assume that he will continue to be rewarded as a superintendent until his contract runs out? Driving on that indulgence of the board's understanding? Or is the board unable to act? For the love of God, if that's the case, help us to understand that. What about our basketball coach? Why is he still coaching basketball after taking vital evidence in a case and putting it in his safe the very day after learning about the investigation into his friend and colleague? And how I interject that, obviously he loved him. And what exactly are the terms of his contract? Was it signed before or after this investigation came to light? We can't claim to know where each of you board members stand when it comes to this investigation, but we can certainly ask why. Why has there been no action when it comes to our superintendent and our coach? As a human being, I cannot imagine that there are not those among you who are just as frustrated as we are. Maybe you are, but you can't say it. Maybe you're muzzled. We're not. We'll continue to speak loudly. We'll continue to demand action. And those of you who stand on the side of right, the side of justice, the side of action, we implore you to work together and take action. To do the right thing. We'll be watching. We'll be listening. And for those of you who might rather continue the society of indulging criminals and letting evil be rewarded by holding positions where they are entrusted with the care of our children, even after they have betrayed our collective public trust, we're watching and listening to you as well. And when those motions are made and you decide whether you stand on the side of the line that sets its highest priority on setting right those things that were done wrong, or whether you stand on the side of the line that will allow a continuation of this long-established culture of cover-up, we will be watching and listening then also. And the people are not without their own remedies. If we do not feel satisfied with the action taken by the board or each of its individual members. We realize how this went. I will be thankful for my comment. Expected to sit down. But before that happens, I'm going to ask these questions point blank. You may answer, you may not. Probably not. I'm going to ask them because they are really at the center of the people's frustration. And number one is, why has no action been taken against our superintendent to this point? Even if only by a paid suspension. And why is our coach still coaching basketball without even so much as one comment by this board concerning his actions? Those are the questions. I would like to thank anybody who they are that were involved in this. I could never do this. I had my feelings, I had my ideas, and I think that perhaps we read it. And thank you for your time.
Thanks, Deb. Do you have a copy of that with us, Deb?
Pardon me?
Do you have a copy of that?
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use this.
Okay.
I didn't make any copies.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Going once, going twice. Oh, all right. I saw this one first. Kathy, sorry. Mr. Pascal, you're closer. You can start heading this way.
Joe Wassaco, high school principal. Every year in May, come to you with a failure because we don't have a 100% graduation rate. What I want to come to you to at least notify you from start of school till now, we had 4 kids never give up and earn their diploma. And as soon as they finish, we were able to let them, give them the diploma and let them walk as a graduate of Beaverton High School. They fulfilled the credits, the requirements, and I just want to at least, out of some, we hear nothing but negative once in a while. It's kind of good to hear some positive. But every year, our goal is to have 100% graduation rate. We haven't met it yet. I hope one year we will. But I was just proud to see that these 4 kids, never gave up and at least, earn that diploma. So that's all. Thanks.
Thanks, Joe.
we did have a very nice time on Saturday playing the community, and I'm sure the kids would love to do it again. This Saturday, we're hosting the junior high solo ensemble, so there'll be quite a bit of goings on throughout the whole building. Something I talked to Mr. Pasalaco about, and maybe we don't always toot our own horn or let people know the good things that are happening in our school, but through the peer evaluation process that we do, we've been able to go to other teachers' rooms and watch them teach. And, you know, I've been at this for a lot of years, but to watch someone else work gave me a new idea, opened my eyes a little bit, kind of refreshed something wonderful. And I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but Jenny Ewer is who I observed, and we are so lucky to have her in our business wing. She is an amazing teacher, and I just can't wait to go observe more teachers because, you know, you're never too old to learn something new. And I'm willing to go that mile. So, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm thinking I probably should let you know, Mindy Jeffrey, State and Federal Program Coordinator. I don't know if Jolene beat me to the punch, but we did get notification last week that our consolidated application was approved. That's on behalf of a lot of work. It's hard to stand and tell you how much work goes into that, but it's school improvement related, so it's teams, it's a lot of goal writing, and a lot of business management work, and so our funds are funds approved and available. So that was good news, state and federal program. And I don't know if you remember the site visit that the state of Michigan did a couple of years ago. We're still working on that compliance plan, and I wanted to let you know that I meet with Michelle Sandro, who is our MDE field rep, who has been working with the district on December 7th, and I'm hoping to wrap that up. So I'll be back to report, hopefully good news on that our compliance is complete. And also we're meeting with Sam Ewing and Marie Miller for 2 days tomorrow with their school improvement and doing a lot of work with those teams. So just letting you know.
Thanks. Anybody else? All right, let's go on to item 10, unfinished business employee request. Yeah, I'm just going to give a quick update. Last meeting, we had an opportunity to hear some concerns for Annette Howe, and we had an opportunity to get some information. We have taken a look at the information that was provided, and I will be making a recommendation to the board that we have this reviewed as our committee setting.
Did you need me to come up, or?
We're just going to, I think the 5th is what we had kind of all looked at. Appreciate you being open for that. I think the committee members were all open for the 5th.
We just need to set a time.
Exactly. So I'm going to make a motion that we set this to the Grievance Personnel Committee, which consists of Lori, Jerry, and
well, personnel is different than
yeah.
grievance.
Well, they're defined. We'll do the same now. Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were using negotiation.
No.
Grievance or personnel.
I checked with Karen.
I know I'm on both, so.
Yeah, you're the alternate.
Clark Ware Goals.
Clark Ware Goals. The 5th word.
Okay. Time.
Time? I think, Annette, you said anytime after 2:30, right?
That's correct.
Okay. I know we've got some people that...
And I can go into the evening if other people
yeah,
have.
5 o'clock usually is about as early as committee. It's up to you guys.
5 works well for me. 5 o'clock is best for that.
5 o'clock, I'll see you here, or where do you want me to be?
Administration.
Sure, administration
Okay.
office at 5 o'clock.
All right.
So that's the motion. Meeting the 5th at 5 o'clock at the administration office. Somebody want to support that?
Support.
We have a motion and support for a meeting on the 5th at the administration office. Yeah,
That's
committee.
committee.
Yeah. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you.
New business.
And that's posted.
Yep. Yep. Always. Dependent upon content. and Maintenance Committee. So we had a couple of meetings before. At 5:30, our Operations and Maintenance Committee had an opportunity to meet. We took a look at a lot of stuff. I'd like to ask Committee Chair Brent Minishler bring the board up to speed. That'd be great.
Yeah, I'll just go over some of the main issues that we talked about today at the Operations and Maintenance Committee meeting. I did already email the notes or the minutes from the meeting to you guys, so you should have them already. First thing, item up for bids, for lack of a better term, is a high-tech contract. We are currently in the third year of our 3-year contract. There's a couple different options we could go. If we are happy with their work, we could just elect to extend their contract on an annual year-by-year basis, or we could go ahead and also submit a new RFP requesting proposals from many different companies. If you recall back when we did this the first time, we kind of joined not really a consortium, but a group of different districts. Gladwin declared Gladwin RESD, ourselves, and Mount Pleasant, all went in with the RFP at the same time. I think the consensus is to do that again, coming up here probably within the next month, right, Dick? Is to see where we're at with the proposals for custodial services. Just a note to point out on that, over that 3-year contract, the district has saved approximately $600,000 in wage and fringe benefit costs for those 3 years. Next item would be looking at the activity center in the 2-story building. The U Activity Center, whatever they want to be called, is off and running, has a nice foot traffic on a nightly basis. Most of their programs are doing quite well. Looking at scheduling in the future and how that's going to progress. One of the things that has came up on that is that in the old 2-story library, there are several books from probably a K-8 range, kind of across the source and stuff, mostly lower stuff with 3rd and 4th graders. We're working on trying to find an efficient way to donate those books either to a group who could do those. Also maybe talking with the primary principal to see if they have, if he gets with the staff and talk about any ideas on how maybe we could give them to students as kind of a help the door, make sure you read it with Christmas break sort of thing. But just kind of kicking around some ideas on how to efficiently do that. Going on a little farther down, one of the other things that came up at the high school recently is the fire and security systems, how technological advances we have. Ours is not running quite up to snuff. We have some issues with some amps and continually blowing breakers. So Dick is working with some companies to make sure that gets fixed. There will be a cost to the district to that, toward that end, but it's really needed to be done to make sure we stay in compliance with state fire marshal. And then last thing is school forest update. Langs and Beaverton Security are working together, communicating nicely to make sure that no one's stepping on each other's toes or going in front of one another. I think as of right now, Dick, correct me if I'm wrong, Langs is about 2/3 done with the stump grinding. They'll probably be in there in a couple days and then the stumps will be out. And then hopefully, weather permitting, security should be able to follow in behind them and begin work on the road structure. And that was basic, most of the things that we discussed today. Ross, you're at
I think just a thank you to the folks for the school forest. We did go out after we received preliminary bids from Beaverton Security for 4 different projects, and we went out based on our policies and got some additional bids. 2 other bidders actually came in, and they were substantially higher. So, I'd like to thank the local folks that stepped up and are doing a pretty large scope of work for substantially less than the market could bear out there. So, we appreciate that.
One other thing that we forgot to mention, and we didn't even touch on this, is the meeting is the letter thanking the folks who worked on the primary playground, the cement work that was done up there. There are several listed here. I won't read them, but
Same thing for the water on the chairs that you're all sitting on in here. We had an individual that came in and offered to provide her time to reupholster, recover, take care of these. at no cost, or the cost that she wanted to donate back to the district. So we got all these chairs reupholstered for nothing. So we'd definitely like to say thanks to Maureen Thurl that did that. So.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And might I point out that these chairs have been sat on by teenagers for the last 12 years? About 12 years. So you can imagine how bad they were getting. Some of you were in there saw how bad they were getting. Great.
Anything else? Okay. Negotiations Committee report. The Negotiations Committee had an opportunity to meet, which is myself, Lori, and Gary, just to follow up our final administrative contract, which was Joanne Clegg, school nurse. We had given all administrators the opportunity a while ago to come and chat with the board relative to contracts and just general pulse of things. Joanne was she wasn't out of the state, but she was not on the peninsula when we did that originally. So last board meeting, she had an opportunity to come in and talk to us. We did an opportunity to review some of the concerns that she raised out of that. And after that review, we found that the wage that we had was over average based on our bring up, and talked about days and dollars per hour, and felt that what we had out there was a fair and equitable rate for her, along with the 2% off schedule increase. So the recommendation from the committee is going to be that we move forward with the proposed rate and off schedule payment for the school nurse as presented previously. As originally.
Yeah.
Gary, Lori, anything to add? One thing we did talk about was, we talked about the frequency in which we would talk to our administrators. That's been almost 6 months ago.
Yes.
We talked about wanting to look at setting something up again, and then the board also talked about, or the committee, I'm sorry, the board did not, but something to think about as we move forward, the opportunity for staff members as a whole. I know that's a lot of folks and a lot of time and things like that, but if individuals have the desire or want to come and speak with the board, we want to hear those folks. So that's something I know when we get to January, we talked about setting up a committee meeting to talk about our continuation of our communications plan and things like that moving forward. So I think that's something that the committee would like to see us talk about as far as got really good positive feedback from the administration on the opportunity to sit down and discuss things, and how we expound upon that, and maybe extend it to some more of our staff members.
So it's been 6 months. Is that something you want to set up again in December? Did you want to set it up in January?
I think we talked about, the frequency that we would do. Let's look at it at our January meeting for setting something up. Good next step. I have one meeting in December. I don't have a committee, or so many meetings, a session for us to come together. Workshop, that's the word I was looking for. Okay? Do you have anything else for the negotiations committee's report?
No, nothing from that.
No. Move forward with the contract that we have.
Yeah, we voted on that when we did the, quite a while ago.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Item C, superintendent evaluation. You guys all should have received from Lori. Thank you for sending that stuff along. The format for the superintendent evaluation. Every year we do a yearly evaluation of the superintendent. The law has changed relative to how we evaluate the superintendent, and we have a sample superintendent evaluation from MASB that we could use as a potential guide for superintendent evaluation. Now, we always have the opportunity to go in and add or delete or tweak things that we would like. So everybody should have a copy of this PDF. I would ask that everybody go through it in detail, make sure that individual sections have things that we want to capture on the evaluation.
I have gotten some feedback.
Yep, you should have gotten.
And And there is one section too that really, the section, I believe is section H, is it? The one where it starts out with a list of the,
Progress towards school improvement plan.
keep going, the one that starts with the list of request goals that we really need to establish.
That's the progress toward the school improvement plan.
Keep going. The one that starts with the,
Student attendance.
should have brought it up.
Student parent teacher feedback.
That
Specific goals.
we actually need to discuss that as a group. That's not something that we.
Well, do you think that we should do it in our personnel committee meeting?
That would be appropriate. But it's something that, you know, if we're each evaluating on different goals, that doesn't make any sense.
Right.
What we need to talk about, you know, our format last year was, we did an evaluation and then I plugged in staff in random.org from each school, and those people got a copy of the evaluation from Rusty, and it was anonymous, and it all came back to Rusty, and then the information was compiled. And I thought that we would do that again this year, but do you think we should set up a committee meeting and discuss it? Or do you want to just?
That's different.
No, it's the same. We want to do it at the same time? Okay. Because we'd like to get it out and have it done here pretty quick. So if you have anything you want added, I know Bob that you made mention, and I asked you to put it in your question format. You can also combine it with what we had last year. You know, there's some pretty specific questions that we're going to have on that evaluation.
So we will take last year's and still incorporate it.
Absolutely, and if there's something that you'd like out of the evaluation last year, get that to me, and, you know, I can get the information when we meet on this date here. We'll make sure that it's all right.
And now this format breaks it down, in, especially those 4 sections in the middle. They're sort of prescribed by state law now that have to be included. But the exact language used is what's prescribed, the subjects. And we are able to expand upon, but we have to include those subjects, and we have to weight them approximately. But there's only one that's required weighting, and that's the 25% of the student progress. All the rest of it, the weighting is up to us also. But that one is required by law.
And as this came from MASB as a suggestion, you know, I did reach out and talk to Brad Verdasek from MASB today, you know, relative to this evaluation process. I got messages into a couple folks at Truman too, so we'll get that, make sure we're covered.
Hey Rusty, could you send out the template that we used last year so we can compare the 2 documents side by side? Good. Thanks.
You can probably get your questions to any of us. Yeah.
So did I hear you say we need to set a committee meeting?
No, we're going to do
Okay.
it on
Okay.
the same time we do this.
Okay, perfect. Continue with the format and forward that along as it's finalized. All right. Questions?
Shortly after this.
Yeah. Anybody else? Item 12, correspondence. Electronic. Okay.
Should receive the chamber record.
Superintendent's report.
First, in your packet, I had some information that the personnel committee was asking about as far as substitute pay, as far as the areas of mechanics and maintenance compared to other school districts. Remember the fact that we have personnel.
And that's just to really ascertain the difference between what it was back when that was set and what it is today.
And we talked earlier about looking at possibly getting qualified people in the mechanics and maintenance. So I want to give you information that other districts are doing, plus
buses on these, and also, no. Because I know Harrison doesn't have anything to do with buses.
They don't,
They have,
unless they're going to be out for an extended period of time, they don't hire substitutes. They don't hire
So
substitutes.
the mechanic called in sick on Tuesday, they just don't report it, or they shoot. Right.
We typically don't. I mean, some people go to the garage.
And we've got one.
We don't have one, well, because they're big, we have information.
Get your wrenches over you guys. Dick? Get that big dump truck up to the scratch. Right. You got it.
And hard to do that.
Okay. Anything else relative to superintendent report? Questions? Item 14, hearing from board members?
Well, I kind of like,
Yeah, you beat me to a lot, go for it.
okay, I kind of like seeing what happens to our own bus, so it's kind of an interesting hunting lodge.
We actually bought those on them, that's what's putting on the bill, it's really, that was
I've seen that going down the road today, as I was going out with Steve Brown from the school forest, he was going out here from Claire Road with a trailer and he was.
Dylan? This is a local guy.
Claire.
Claire. That's cool. In case anybody can't see it, we had a school bus after we bought new buses that an individual bought. And he fixed it up as a hunting vehicle for his children to go, and they've got like seats inside of it and couches and pictures of deer on the side. I thought it was a pretty good looking rig. I could have used that.
And then I also like the note, we obviously, it cost us more to buy a bus when we had good camera systems in them, but apparently